So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, now we go to another segment that's in the ring, and it was Cody Rhodes. So yeah, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, makes his way down there to the ring, and he asks Greensboro, what do they want to talk about? He said he wants to talk about Brock Lesnar and stuff. Talking about how, but before he starts talking about Brock Lesnar, he starts talking about how Greensboro is the home of Starrcade and stuff, and all that stuff. But yeah, he starts talking about Brock Lesnar and all that stuff, and he starts telling like a story or whatever about Scorpion or whatever. And he was talking about what Brock Lesnar did to him last week on Raw and stuff, attacking him and pretty much challenging him to a match next week at Night of Champions. And Cody Rhodes says he gladly accepts. So yeah, Cody Rhodes accepts the challenge against Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions. So yeah, that's what he said. And then he was talking about how he actually beat Brock Lesnar at Backlash and stuff. How he bloodied him up, and he still kept it, even though he was locked up in the Kimura lock. He kept Brock Lesnar's shoulders pinned down for the 3 count and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what Cody Rhodes was talking about and all that stuff. But then he starts saying that everybody used to call Brock Lesnar back then the next big thing. He said, you know what? Brock Lesnar was the next big thing and all that stuff. But then he starts talking about how he's been the next big thing for so many years, and he dominated the whole sport, dominated Raw and everything. And he says that Brock Lesnar's pretty much jealous about what is the biggest thing on Monday Night Raw and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what he was saying. And then he says, do you know what it means when everybody says the next big thing? Yeah, you was the next big thing, but there's going to be somebody next after you. And he says that Brock Lesnar's just in his way. So yeah, that's what Cody Rhodes said. Pretty good segment. But yep, that's what happened there. And then after that, we see backstage, we see Zoe Stark pretty much talking. And we see Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross not even paying attention to her. And Zoe Stark was like, hey, Frick, don't you hear me or whatever. And then all of a sudden we see Candice LeRae coming up saying, don't call her a freak or whatever. And then she says, well, how about you go spend time with your stupid family or something. And she goes like, hey, don't be talking about my family like that. And then Zoe Stark was like, okay, cool. And then Candice LeRae was like, how about this next week? And next week we have a match. And she goes like, all right, fine. Next week it is. And she walks away. So yeah, next week on Raw, it will be Candice LeRae versus Zoe Stark 1-on-1. But yeah, up next we're going to be seeing one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green, 1-on-1 up next on Raw. And still to come later on tonight in the main event, it will be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the Judgment Day in a tag team match in the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then.